Good morning, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. I hope. Got a new setup here in the podcast room. Hoping you guys can hear me. The audio is configured very differently, so I'm kind of flying blind here. I hope everyone is able to listen to my sonorous tones. Good morning, Sandy. Jason on Facebook. John, how are you? Carrie, good morning from Indiana. Good morning from New York City. Hope you're all doing well. Let's see what's going on. All good. Sounds great. All right. That's what I like to hear. The Packers, they're getting busy. We got all sorts of reports this morning. The latest, literally breaking a couple minutes before I went live. Preston Smith is back on a 4-year contract extension, $52 million in new money, saving the Packers roughly $8 million on the cap in 2022. Preston, of the two Smiths, you thought he was the one most likely to get an extension. Zadarius still undoubtedly headed towards free agency after he is released later this week before Wednesday's deadline. Legal tampering is here. That's right, folks. As of noon this afternoon, Eastern Time, teams can begin calling potential free agents in the lead up to Wednesday's start of the new league year. But even prior to that, we've got some news in regards to Devante Adams telling the team that he will not play on the franchise tag. I don't think anybody's surprised by that development. It's part of the dance, part of the back and forth that you've got to expect around a negotiation that I know Ian Rappaport has characterized it as the team and the player not being in a good spot. I think that's more agent speak than anything else. Rattling the saber, trying to get a deal done. I remain confident that the Packers will figure out a way to get a long-term deal for Devante Adams. Maybe not before Wednesday, and I know that's problematic in the sense of that $20 million slapping itself right onto the cap for the Packers. But the sticking point. I know lots of people talk about Devante wanting to be the highest paid wide receiver in the league, and that is true. But the true sticking point, as we've talked about here, is those guaranteed years past the first year. Devante and his team want salaries guaranteed into years 2 and 3, something the Packers are loath to do. They rarely, if ever, do it. We'll see if they cave in this regard. I suspect there's a good chance they will, much like the Steelers did with TJ Watt. And the other little bit of news was the Packers are expected to bring back Rasul Douglas. We've got no other reporting other than that's the plan. So we'll see how that plays out. I don't think there have been robust talks up to this point. I think everything is kind of on hold while they take care of Aaron Rodgers and Devante Adams. But Rasul should be back. He is definitely in their plans. So that's good to hear. Let's talk to everybody in the comments section. Everybody lining up, got stuff to say. Dennis, what's up, man? Don Vito, we'll start with you. Thanks to the super chat. I know we are strapped for cash, but if the Packers signed Akeem Hicks and paired him with Kenny Clark, that would be a dream come true. No doubt for the 5 games that Akeem is healthy for every year. You guys know I've been a huge fan of Akeem Hicks forever. Hate that he's a Bear. I'd love that pairing, but there's no question that Hicks's body is breaking down as he gets further and further into his career. If they could get him on a cheap deal, I'd be all for it, but I suspect he'll get paid. Ben, thank you for the super chat. Morning, Nags. Was so nice not having any Packers worries for a week. Man, there's still no worries. Don't worry about it. All is well. All is well. No worries. It's the offseason. It's March. Who do they play on Sunday? Nobody. Don't worry about it. James, thank you for the super chat. Dagante or Dagonante? Dogante. A lot going on there, James. A lot going on there. It's too early for me to, parse through at the moment. People texting me. What's going on? How are you? Packers play in the UK, still over the moon. Alan, I hear you, buddy. It's going to be a lot of fun over there on the other side of the pond. When will the news come out about Zadarius? When they make the official cut, which I suspect will be sometime before Wednesday afternoon. Too old for this. I sent a nice message to Rasul on Instagram, and 12 hours later, the news that we are expected to keep him. Coincidence? I think not. Tommy, Allen Robinson signing a cheap deal to play with 12? Anything is possible, but I highly doubt it. I think he'll go elsewhere and get paid. But you never know. I know he hit like on that one tweet, so you never know. But I doubt it. Preston, yes, Ben Preston is back. Drew, what's up with Brady? Who cares? No, Brady is back apparently, and the Packers do travel to Tampa this year. That's going to be a whale of a game. I don't think that team will be as strong as the one that whooped up on the Packers a couple years ago down in Tampa, but um, Rodgers and company have not fared well in Florida or in that stadium, so it's one to look out for. Travis, yes, talked about the Rappaport report on Adams at the top of the stream. Um, par for the course. Some classic saber rattling from Adams' agent. That's all that is. Grim Chief, thanks for the super chat. I really, really, really hope we keep Campbell. I don't want to go back to after experiencing good linebacker play. It's all a dance, baby. It's all a dance. I know Tom Silverstein reported that there's a good chance that he hits the open market. I think the Packers will do everything in their power up until Wednesday afternoon to ensure that that doesn't happen, but you can only pay so many people. And they are almost always going to prioritize what they consider premier positions over an inside backer. That's just how they operate. Brady is envious and jealous. I don't think I agree with your police work there, Shadid. Negs, when are you doing a mock draft, Ben? When hell freezes over. No, I'll maybe do one later in the off season, closer to the draft. Would Will Fuller be a cheaper option than MVS? Seems like Goot has been interested in him for years now. Yeah, not just Goot, but Matt obviously likes him too. Helped kind of drive that train a couple years ago when they were trying to trade for him due to their time at Notre Dame together. It's always a possibility. I would never close the book on that, especially because MVS is going to get paid big money on the market. Got to expect that they're going to be looking for some cheaper alternatives. If he's available and the Packers offer him a come chase a ring with Rodgers type deal with maybe some incentives, I think you should look at Joe Banner's feed this morning, the former Eagles executive. He's been talking about how guys really need to take one-year deals this offseason prior to kind of the explosion of the cap in a couple years. This is a good year for guys like Fuller to take a one-year deal with a quarterback in an offense that throws the ball a lot, pump up those stats, and then hit the market next year. To me, if you're the Packers, that's the pitch you're making to Will Fuller. No question about it. Jeff, what do you think top draft priority should be, defensive tackle or wide receiver? You guys know me. I'm always going to say defensive tackle. As Ted Thompson was fond of saying, when it comes to athletic big men, the good Lord only made so many. But it's all about value. It's all about how the board falls. If there's a guy sitting there who you have, the case in point, the Packers have rated far and away a better prospect at a certain position, tier-wise. Like if you've got guys who you have first-round grades on or like blue chip grade on, and he falls to 28, and he's at a position other than something that you desperately need, you still take that player. If that scenario were to play out. Now, who knows? It could fall a million different ways. But of those two positions, if the draft grades are similar, I take the defensive tackle. Soder, good morning, man. Thanks for the super chat. Wish there was something available that would let me know if the offensive tackle from Central Michigan is a good fit for the Packers. Hit the like button, people. Oh, if only there was a Packers-centric draft guide for you to pre-order at cheeseheadtv.com. The link will be in the description of this video after I am done. You should check that out, Soder. Thanks, buddy. Pee Wee Pierre. Wide receivers are a dime a dozen. Okay, I don't know about that. Now we're going down the road of running backs don't matter when he's talking like that. I'm not so sure dime a dozen would be the correct phrasing there, but fungible, perhaps, maybe, dependent on the scheme and quarterback, of course. But I don't know. Rodgers must sign a contract by Wednesday, right? Well, Ben, let's be clear here. He doesn't have to do anything. He's under contract for one more year. He doesn't have to sign the deal that supposedly they agreed to terms, with the Packers. He could just ride it out. And as of Wednesday afternoon, his cap hit would be like $44 million. And the Packers, not to put too fine a point on it, would be fucked. So, yeah, no, he's got some leverage here, and he is using it. I do not doubt it by waiting and withholding his signature. I think Rodgers, Adams, all fits together. No, I have little doubt of that. Does Tom Brady carry the tea? You mean the warm tea on a cold day? Probably. I see that one punter is going up the draft boards, round one talent. Oh man, no, let's not talk about punters in the draft. I don't want Corey Banky to come storming in here. I'd really like to see Sammy Watkins in a Packers uniform. Well, Thomas, don't ever forget they made a run at him a couple years ago when he was a free agent prior to his arrival in Kansas City. And I know he's moved around since then, but they've shown interest in the past. Who knows? John. Nags, you cracked me up. Well, I'm glad someone finds me humorous, John. Think Allen Robinson would come on a cheaper 1-year deal if MVS and Lazard leave. I think that's a fun idea. I think that's more fantasy for Packers fans than reality for Allen Robinson. I think he's going to get paid. Adam, you damn right. Money is green everywhere. Precisely. So what else we got, folks? What else we got? If you haven't already touched on the subject, what are your thoughts on what Rodgers' contract extension will look like on paper? I have no reason to doubt what Ian Rappaport reported, and I know Rodgers tried to throw some water on that as soon as it came out. I think he was more trying to direct people towards the announcement, the fact that he would be back, trying to give his boy Pat McAfee some shine. But I think Ian's been spot on. It's going to be a 4-year extension. Those first 2 years are going to be extremely cap friendly, and past that, we'll see. But that's what I'm working off the assumption of is those first 2 years are going to depress his cap number in a way that will really help the Packers. And much like this Preston extension offered them some cap relief for 2022. But we'll see exactly what the nitty gritty is. I know there's been some question as to what the, fine print will say when it comes to every off season throughout the course of this 4-year deal for Rodgers. But I think essentially my guess is, and this is complete guesswork on my part, is it is very much a 2-year deal. 4 years in name, 2 in actuality, with the option probably next year of revisiting things. I got to expect they'll be talking about this every year from now on when it comes to Aaron and possibly retiring and trying to move stuff around and massage the cap, etc. So, but yeah, I think it's a 2-year deal essentially would be my guess. Jones is a great back, but do you think that extension was a mistake with all the other players needing to be paid? No, Tate, I don't. He's a great player. You want great players on your football team. I have no issue with the Aaron Jones extension at all. Zero. I understand that thinking. I get what you're saying, but I like good football players on my team, and Aaron's a good football player. And essentially, it was a 2-year deal, and this is the second year of it. Might you lose a player or two along the way? Yeah, that's cost of doing business, and they will undoubtedly find new players to bring along and develop. Will any of them be as good as Aaron Jones? That's a long shot. I know everybody depressed value of running backs, etc. I get all that. I like good football players on my football team. That's just me. James, thank you for the super chat. Can we please examine the Kirk Cousins payment? Why? Hey, shout out to Mike McCarthy, not the former Packers coach. His agent has done a phenomenal job of maximizing his value all the way back to his time in Washington, going on a number of years on the franchise tag, then getting that fully guaranteed deal with the Vikings, and now signing this extension. I mean, he's getting paid, and his new 1-year deal, $35 million, I believe it is fully guaranteed. This guy is winning at life. Now, we can make fun of Kirk Cousins all we want, but man, that guy is getting paid. Shout out to him. Jordan Love is staying with the Packers. Tom Clements is here to make Aaron Rodgers happy and to develop love. George, every possibility that that's correct. But I also wouldn't be surprised if the Packers were listening to any offers coming in regarding Jordan. Now, do I think they're actively shopping him? No, I don't. And I do think the hope is it plays out much like you're suggesting there. But, things can change quickly. All it takes is one team. We'll see. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Josh throwing it down. Time to trade Adams. He's not worth $30 million. Do you guys even know what you're looking at? Devante Adams is a generational talent. He's absolutely worth 30 million. And you blink in 2 years, 30 million is going to look like a steal. Man, Entitled Town in full effect, man. You guys are crazy. Kyle, thanks for the super chat. Aaron holding the leverage on 1265. He certainly learned something from the sins of his Favre. Well played, Kyle. Well played. Thanks for the super chat, buddy. Nathan, I feel like Aaron Jones won't be a Packer after this year, and I'm sad about it. Get Campbell done. Nathan, I'm with you. I think that's been the plan. That we said that when Aaron Jones signed the initial extension. It sets up extremely pointedly to be a 2-year deal. I know it's trumpeted as a 4-year deal, but the Packers' clear out is after this year. And they did draft A.J. Dillon, and they have brought him along. Now who knows what happens with Kylan Hill, but they got a promising back there if he comes back from injury. Who knows what they add in the draft this year. So, yeah, I think Aaron Jones is a great player, but it's always been we're going to have him for 2 years. I think that's pretty obvious. And guess what? They drafted another really good player in A.J. Dillon, essentially to take his and Jamal Williams' place down the road. It's almost like, now, I want to blow anybody away here. I don't want to you get crazy, but it's almost like the Packers have a plan. I don't know. I don't get nuts here. I don't want to just, okay. Maybe. Probably not. They're probably totally winging it like I do in fantasy football drafts, but too old for this. Thanks to the super chat. The dog's name should be LaFleur, and you can buy him or her a little fedora and fake eyebrows. Oh, boy. We went 17, 18 minutes without talking about the dog. Yeah, the girls and I were looking at dogs yesterday. One step closer. Very exciting. We shall see. Come on, people, like the video. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you for the call to action there. Thank you for the call to action. Packers don't have a plan. Okay, Justin Herbert. Wow. A plan. What a concept. I know. It's crazy. But no, you're right. The tweets we see, the stuff we hear on television, that's the reality. And what's going on behind closed doors at 1265 Lombardi, the people who are actually doing the work, they have no clue. Good point, Justin Herbert. I don't know why I didn't think of that. You're all over it, buddy. Good job. Proud of you. Pumpkin Pie, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. William Henderson was before my time. How good? Oh, boy. William Henderson was such a boss in the sense of not only could he open up a hole as a lead blocker out of an I form, but he was a weapon in the passing game. I am saying weapon, people. Buttery smooth, silky hands. You could catch it in the flat and take it for a first down and more. And on top of all that, and on top of his usefulness and production on the offensive side of the ball, the man was a starter. That's a starter on special teams. William Henderson was awesome. That's how good. That is how good William Henderson was. I love that we're sitting here on a Monday morning talking about William freaking Henderson. You damn right, Kevin. It's always a good time to talk about the Packers legends, baby. Always a good time. All right, everybody, I'm going to have to get going. I can't thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. I will undoubtedly be back later today / this afternoon, maybe evening, to kind of wrap up the first day of the legal tampering period. I suspect we'll probably have more to talk about as the day goes on. In the meantime, please do hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day. Go Pack Go.